This is the John Cleland championship winning car. But I think you'll admit this is really stunning. So welcome back to another video. We are on our way down to Silverstone to do this, basically the Silverstone Festival, because it has the big display of all the Senna cars. But on the way down, I've popped into Eastwood Garage. Anyone who follows the channel will know Brad's little Renault 5, the drag car. Well, one of the lads locally to here, who's a friend of ours, Frenchie, is a massive Metro fan. And every time we went to door slammers and the events and we bumped into each other, he would always ask about the Metro. Well, the 6R4. So what we've done is, on the way down, we're passing, I've popped in, let them see the car. I'm going to take them around the block in it, let them experience it and see what they think. So we've just took it off the trailer, we're letting them all having a look, and then we'll get out and have a ride.
Need to convert my Metro into one of these, Brad.
So we literally just put him outside for Brad to take some pictures with his Renault 5, and obviously for Frenchie to get some next to his Metro. At the end of the day, like I said, borrowing these cars and doing these cars, it's all about getting people involved and enjoying them and taking the pictures, because like I've said previously about this Metro, it will eventually go into a museum and people won't see it, or go into a private collection. So anything I can get my friends involved and getting them to see these things, I'll always help. And to make Frenchie's day, yeah, definitely been worth it. So we've arrived at Silverstone, and as you can see, that there is the Senna display of the Formula 1 cars. I've just put our little Metro in there, ready to go. The Sierra's turned up, there's a couple of NSXs and that. So what we're going to do is, these are not the original wheels for the Metro. So I'm literally going to get the wheels out of the van, get them swapped over, because the turbo fans are far better. So let's get them swapped over now. So what's happening now, they're doing a photo shoot on the starting line with all the cars out with some of the family of Ayrton Senna. So they're literally pushing the Formula 1 cars out. We're just waiting to be called. We've swapped the wheels over for the turbo fans, because they're the actual wheels which came with the car, and if I'm honest, they do look so much better on the Metro, the turbo fans. So we swapped them over, but obviously gonna wait to be called, and then we'll have this again, another once in a lifetime opportunity to have all the cars together on a bit of a photo shoot with some of the family, and obviously the Sierra's turned up as well. So here we are on the starting grid, and all the Formula 1 cars are coming out that Senna drove. And let's be honest, how many people in the world can physically say they have stood on the starting grid with 26 of Ayrton Senna's cars, being part of it, pushing, shoving, helping? Our little Metro's back here. What can I say? This is insanely good. And smile for me to hear, because like you say, I get myself in some weird situations and I've had some amazing experiences, and they just keep getting better and better. So let's have a look at the first few Formula 1 cars. The one for me, I know it's probably not everyone's favourite, is obviously the John Player one. That is absolutely mega. They're lining them all up. People will know better which ones these are. I'm, like I say, unfortunately, I'm not a major Senna fan, so I don't really know which one's which. But we are having every single one all lined up for photo shoots. And then also we've got Ayrton Senna's niece here, who's going to be part of the photo shoot as well. So look at this as we're all getting ready. This is insanely good. And obviously, way back there, ready to be at the back, because obviously these were actually raced by Senna and obviously quite a few times. Our little Metro has had literally one day. So let's wait to be called up. So whilst they're queuing up, obviously getting everyone lined up, we can have a good look inside the Formula 1 cars. Safety back then was a bit adventurous. Look at the seatbelt brackets in this thing. Just a bit of folded steel and a couple of cap screws. This is mega, and this is obviously looks like it had a fire extinguisher under his legs. This is obviously the one where I'm being told that he shouldn't technically have won in, and it was a lot of discrimination about. But look at the gear shifter and everything. This is an amazing little car in here. What an experience this is to be close to him. This is insanely good. Wow. Just a nice experience to see him on. So for me, obviously, like I said, I wanted to look at the John Player car, because I think just the livery as well, which makes it for me this car. But to look inside it, he must have only been a small fella. Because look in here, the gear shifter, beautiful little piece of engineering, well machined. Just look at it in there. Wow. I don't know what that little bar is, maybe a brake bias or something. That'd have been the gear shifter. All the little gauges. The seats again, just a little bolt through there to hold them in. This is insane. And there's the little plaque of it. What a privilege this is. What a privilege. What a cool car that is. Cool. Really love it. So obviously we've just got into line. There's the Sierra Rally car. 3 of the Formula 1 cars, or Formula 3, I don't know the difference, and our little Metro. But this lady here is Ayrton Senna's niece, and obviously she's just getting now the full description of what all the cars were. And that there at Mark's holding is one of the original Ayrton Senna helmets, and I'm going to guess that's one of like the limited edition statues. What an experience. But almost there. Obviously that there is obviously telling people where they can see the cars in the lineup. What an experience this is. I keep saying this. This is like, say, once in a lifetime. This will never happen again. They probably won't get these cars together. I don't know, they might do it at the 40th anniversary, but this will never ever happen again. It's a one-off. To have the family there, obviously you can see they're around this area with Mark, with the Senna helmet. This is going to be a mega photo. And as for me, being biased, my little Metro's over here. This is cool as Christmas. Of all these cars here, they're all been driven by Senna. There's a lot of pound notes sat in this starting line. And all you've got is our little 2 rally cars. Obviously, the old boy who has the Sierra, and obviously our little Rover Metro, just stuck in between these iconic Formula 1 cars. To be fair, as bad as it sounds, I feel this is a bit wasted on me. It really is. There's probably some serious Formula 1 and Senna fans that are really going to enjoy it, because there was a lady on the door, security guard, who stopped us on the way in, and she nearly cried when we said one of the cars, the car with the Metro on the back was Senna's. We showed the picture in the magazine. She had all the nails painted in the Senna colours. Yeah, we made her day basically. So it is a bit wasted, unfortunately. I'm sorry and all that, guys, but hey, still enjoying the experience.
Sculpture that the rally was. You tell the story rather than me, just very briefly.
Okay, so my grandmother, Ayrton's mother, asked me to make a sculpture of Ayrton. I'm an artist, so she missed remembering her son the way that she used to remember him too. Like her son, not only the racing driver, but her son. So she asked me to make a sculpture of him, and I did. And there's a big sculpture of him that I did in Brazil, at the Interlagos circuit in São Paulo, and I made a smaller version of the same sculpture and I brought it here today. So this is a family special project, and I'm sharing it with you all at this very special day for us. This is a big honor, so thank you everybody for making part of this.
And there we have it. All of them lined up, all of them together. I think there's 26 in total. this is going to make an amazing photograph. And as I keep saying, this is probably the only time now for a long, long time that all these cars are going to be together. What a privilege it is to be stood here with everyone else to make this happen. So, we've been moved inside now for the overnight storage area because it's really windy outside, and the last thing they want is basically the tent to fall over and damage the cars. So we've been put inside. There's the 2 rally cars, but then we've got obviously the NSX, the other NSX, and then we've got 2 beautiful Sennas. They are amazing. I'm hoping to basically get in one of these tomorrow, have a sit down in one, because the guys seem very, very friendly. Awesome cars. But again, that's us now. We're going to literally go that way and go in all the pits, because we bumped into someone who watches our channel, and he works on historic Formula 1 cars, so he's going to give us a bit of a tour, bit of a talk, and show us around some of the cars. So I'm quite looking forward to having a look at that. Okay, so what year are these?
So these two are 1961.
61, okay.
Both the team cars are Yeoman credit.
Yeah.
That's 56 over there.
Now, what engines are these things?
So that's in proper Grand Prix spec, being a 1.5 litre inline 4 twin cab.
Okay.
And that's in Tasman spec, which is 2.5 litre inline 4.
Are they, I'm just walking past these, are they all on carbs?
Yeah, all on carbs.
50s, 45s?
58s.
58s, what the hell? Wow, look at that. How long do these engines normally last? Are they because obviously newer stuff's throwaway, aren't they?
A couple of seasons.
Really?
They do, yes, perfectly long time.
Gearbox is quite reliable?
Yeah, so this is a Clotti 5-speed, and that's a Clotti 6-speed in that one.
Okay. Manual gear change?
Yep.
Wow, look at it gated as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. These are wild, these things. Oh, at least I was going to ask then, are they on drum brakes, but they're not, they're actually on disc brakes.
That's on drums, that one is.
That's on drum. Oh, yeah.
Formula 3 colours, so it's a little Formula 3 with
Yep.
a 1.5 litre single cab.
Okay. What kind of horsepower do these things make?
So that one there being the being the fastest one, pretty much. Yeah, that's about 250 to the wheels.
All right. And I bet they don't weigh much?
No, so that one's about 516 kilo.
Wow. I like that we have to pull the bar off to get the engine open. Oh wow, look at this.
So SQ carbs, single cam, Citroen Ursa gearbox, drum brakes, really, really early.
So what were these? Would these engines come in what the classes I'd say as a roll car, and then?
So this originally would have been a fire pump engine, to pump water.
Really?
Yeah. So to pump water for fire pumps and fire engines like that.
And then they just thought, we'll build a little chassis and we'll stick it in one of them things.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then again, I'm learning because I'm, you know what I do. What's the difference between a Formula 3 and a well, is that classed as a Formula 1?
Yeah, this will be Formula 1, these two.
Right, so what's the difference between a Formula 3 and a Formula 1 at this era?
Smaller engines,
Yes.
less horsepower, drum brakes, a lot more simplistic. So I mean, you're looking at leaf spring suspension on the front and both leaf spring rear.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, again, single damper, single wishbone, dual uprights, really quite just small little cars. I mean, they're not, these are just a lot faster. Just a lot faster, a lot more well built. Not,
So they're more refined. So what would this, so then how would this differ? So this one here,
yeah.
I'm going to guess they did a Formula 1 version of this,
Yeah.
of this year. So what was the big difference then between them two?
Big difference, this would have been probably T43 or T45. Bigger engine, probably 2 litre engine. Yeah, again, different carbs would have been Weber carbs. Just get a little more power.
So just more refined and a bit more power.
Yeah, refined,
Okay.
more power, stuff like that, yeah.
Wow.
So that's in Tasman specification. So after it finished its Formula 1 season,
Yep.
it went on and did a Tasman series in Australia.
Yes.
So all of Tasmania, Australia, all those kind of places. They changed it to 2.5 litres just because the driver said we want more power than more 1.5s, but still the same car.
Yeah, I
So-
suppose it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, is that what we
You can never get enough power.
No, and then this being the John Surtees car of the same year as that one. having the proper Formula 1 spec engine running on 45s.
Wow.
And that's a Colossi Type 34 gearbox, that being a Colossi Type 32.
And again, is this what would this engine be in back in the day?
This is the variation of a 5-pump engine. So this is.
So there's still the same variation of.
Yeah.
So what was? So again, just I have no understanding of this. So why would you have gone for a 5-pump engine and not a manufacturer's engine?
Ridiculously strong. It can be held at higher revs its entire life.
Because it's been engineered to do that. Right, okay, wow.
Really strong, they can still push a lot of power out of it, and it's quite a light engine. It is.
Wow.
So actually it found its way into Formula 1.
Wow. So I'm going to try and relate to something like this. So I can remember when we did the Group B Audi Quattro build, and when we went to an event, they wouldn't allow us to race because of an aluminium roll cage. They would allow us to race, but they wouldn't allow us to compete. It had to be demonstration because of safety, because of an aluminium roll cage. So these, the two Formula 1 cars, okay, let's put this in perspective. These are allowed to race, no problem. You are sat on the fuel tank because it goes round here and around there, and you can see all here is part of the fuel tank. That is wild for safety, and this one's even worse. So this is the very early one. The fuel tank is under the dashboard. So that there is the fuel tank under the dashboard. So technically, if you stuff this at the front, you are puncturing the fuel system. If they will let a Group B Audi Quattro run because of an aluminium roll cage, how are these things going? Because safety's definitely thrown out the windows of this lot. So all the cars again, so obviously all the cars were lined up here sitting in the early one, but the wind's been that bad they're having to reinforce it, so they basically put all the cars inside, and my god do they look good under the light. So every single one of the Formula 1 Senna single-seaters are inside. Look at the John Player car, insanely beautiful. And then you've got, where'd you even go with these? And then you've got all these go-karts. These are, what the value are these? These are the original go-karts that Ayrton Senna drove, and this owned his craft back in the day. And then, like you say, I don't want to go into detail of these cars because, again, I know in the comments there's going to be horrendous people who are Ayrton Senna fans and Formula 1 fans who are going to rip me to death. But I'm trying to just show you some of the ins and outs of everything and show you what we can see, because it is a very special moment here to have them all lined up. It's a very, very special moment. And what can I say? Some of these cars are absolutely insanely brilliant. So look at this. Very, very special moment. Insanely lucky to be able to walk through all this and be close and literally just look at, mess with, and just generally be around. Insane. So we've been able to look a bit at the mechanicals of the Candy car, which I said earlier on, which Kurt loves, and he tells me this is the controversy car, which he won in a car which he technically shouldn't have done because he was an old dog basically. Don't know much because I was doing much by then. But look at the size of the wastegate on this thing. And again, the welding back then wasn't too bad, let's be honest. For back in the 80s, weren't too bad. I wonder if they had the gate at the side, that's where they're blocked in. Who knows? But nice little bracket, as you can see. I wonder if it's Inconol or something like that, but really nice exhaust manifold. Again, but 1980s welding, it's not stupidly bad. I've seen some worse manifolds today from companies. This is obviously the Hart Formula 1 engine. It looks like, again, twin coils by the looks of thing. Again, this is just, can't get over how insane it is. Inbound suspension there, which is obviously on like a push rod system, which pushes on this and then pushes downwards. And again, the anti-roll bar looks like just that thick tube there. Very, very insanely made, but very, very basic for what they do, because I suppose they're just made to go fast. And again, as we've looked in the cockpit, not much really to show, but there's only one thing I can really say about these cars is I couldn't fit in these things. So we're obviously stood walking around the pits, and we've obviously found this John Player Special Formula 1 car. Don't know what year it is, don't know the history about it, but what has stood out for us is the size of the spindles that hold the wheels on. Look at how thin they are. They're about 20, not even that, probably 15 milli, and then it has the threaded nut on to hold the wheel on. That is insane. And then I've also noticed on this one, I don't know if it's slightly different, but What's going on with this little thing? That again, tiny. Look, just screws on it. I don't know how that holds the wheel on. I'm going to guess they're dowelled, and that's just a locking thing on it. And this is obviously one of the Benetton Formula 1 cars. But look at the size of that peg. It's tiny. And I'm worried about the little junky stuff I do on my Corsa. That's insane. And we're going round looking at his car because it's the first time I've had a proper look at these things. Look at what drives the fuel pump. The mechanical fuel pump.
It's electric, and then it runs off a cable off the back of the engine. So when the engine's running, you can switch it off electrically, and then it's mechanically. It's mechanically driven by a cable.
So what he just said was, obviously it's an electronic pump, but it's driven off a cable from the back of the camshaft, runs all the way over here, which runs down and goes to the fuel pump. So basically, once it's been started, you can shut the electrics off and let the cam drive the pump. Wow. Some insane engineering in these things. Listen, we're going to sound like the flipping safety police. But I had that many comments of when I went out in the metro with no seatbelt on. This is some of the stuff you don't see. So this is technically, like I say, one of the old Formula 1 cars, which is running this weekend in race. So yeah, driver's here, driver's head, rests against here, all nice and safe, with a fuel pump at the back of his head. So if this fails, fuel spraying all over the back of his head and he's going to set on fire. And people are worried about me in the metro with no seatbelt on. Insane. So we just got up and I just wanted to show you how much the YouTube life has made you slum it. Do you know what I mean? It's gone all downhill. We're staying in a bit of a rough place, you know, tent. It's horrendous. So let me show you where I'm staying for this, where I've been staying. So this is the Formula 1 drivers for George Russell's camper van. We've been staying in here. How's this happened? I don't know. So let me take you inside and I'll give you a guided tour of the camper. So as you can see, dirty body because it's muddy in there. So this is the front. Like I say, we had a bit of a late night last night, let's say. You have two lazy boy reclining chairs, heated, massage, all phone chargers in the side. Big sofa, as you can see, dirt everywhere because of the mud. Giant telly, stereo system, that was playing last night till about 2 in the morning. Big kitchen, island wash basin, big American fridge freezer. I don't know how long you're going camping for with a big fridge freezer. Then it is like a cinema room. Sofa again, telly on the wall. One of these cabinets I think has a games console in there. Maybe it's for when they're doing, I don't know, briefing or I have no idea. Something like where they're showing data for the race, they might have it in there. Who knows? Don't know. And then there's this lovely corridor. You go up the corridor, these are all the controls, the heating and all that type of thing. My best mate's still in bed, snoozing away, the lazy bar steward. Then, lovely bathroom, full shower. And then here's my room I've been having. Look at my little bed. Well, I won't say little bed, huge bed. Really nice room. Giant tail end of the bed. And a wardrobe that is bigger than me one at home. So yeah, it's been hard this weekend. You know, it's been hard. I don't know how I've coped. This camping, like, hard work. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We've had to get in early to move the cars from, obviously, as you'll have seen. We had to put them indoors because of wind and what have you, and the wind's quite bad. So we've come in early to move it, but as we've come in early, we thought we'd have a walk around the auction whilst it's quiet, see some of the historic cars which are going through, because there is this one I've wanted to have a look at. Now, I've seen this car before when we used to do the touring cars with Jim Pocklington. This is the John Cleland championship winning car, which is up for auction today at Silverstone. Guide price is around £120,000. As far as I know, this is an unrestored car, and it is as original as it was when it won the championship. It's just been used for display purposes only. So what can I say? John Cleland's Cavalier. So how this is a bit different, so it has the sequential box which is the pull shift. It has the longer tunnel, which is obviously the dome part, which is obviously different to Jim's that you will have seen. But again, the cage in here is far superior. And anyone who's the welding police, as I always say, if you look at the welds there, spot welds, it's on every single early touring car. What an amazing vehicle. This is a cool car. And even to the point of, I would even say, and I know I'm a Vauxhall fan, and my little Cavaliers over there, the Batmobile BMW definitely has a soft spot in my heart, because I just think they were just so cool back in the day. And this is not much dearer than the Clellan car, but I think you'll admit this is really stunning. This is at guide price of around 150 to 170. One of the original CSL Batmobiles. Cool car. So this is one of these 6R4s up for auction this weekend. This is, well, it looks like it's been used in kind of like rallycross by lots of things. It's had a bit of an hard life. The front splitter's completely smashed to pieces. If you look down there, completely cracked to pieces. It does have the left-hand drive dash, which the kind of the Group B international cars had. If you look, it goes on that side, so basically your co-pilot can see everything. It obviously has the secondary injectors like ours, and from memory, I'm sure some of the fanatics will correct me. I think the Senna car it's a Clubman shell, we know that, but an international engine. And the way you tell an international engine is, I'm gathering, is the additional injectors on top and the different open throttle bodies. I can't remember when I drove Gary's Clubman what it was like, but this is up at the moment, and I think this is guide price around 300,000. Now, you always have that mate who wastes money, and I want to waste money on this. From memory, this is like what Guy Martin put on one of his videos. We're starting it up. This is a Merlin plain engine, which is up at auction at the moment. This is an insane piece of machinery. Look at this, on a trailer with like a starter system, which I'll show you. Guide price 40 to 50,000 pound. You can start and run it. It's a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, and it has all this little control box here, so you can stand here and start it. And all I can imagine is being stood on this plinth, running the thing, and having the open headers shooting flames out. Yeah, this is just one of them things you want to put in your front garden and annoy your neighbours with. Insane, I love it. So this is the other 6R4, which is up for sale this weekend, and obviously driven by Malcolm Wilson, as far as I can tell. This has got a lot of history. It's a very well-known car. It isn't a museum piece by far. It has been used and abused, because you can tell with the front splitter and the dints and the cracks in the bonnet. I'm not slagging these cars off, because they are used and abused for the Group B in the rally era, and everyone knows who watches my stuff, I love when these things are being used, especially when they had original cars. So this one's up for auction. It'll be very, very interesting to see what this one goes for. This one is guide price around 375 to 475. I would like to think it's going to do the higher end, just because it'll be nice for these cars to really reach the money they deserve. So we'll be watching this one in the auction, and fingers crossed it'll make big money. So we stood next to two Escort Cosses, and I do have a very big soft spot for an Escort Cosworth. I think they are stunning, and these two don't really need any introduction, because they are some mega history cars. So anyone who just spots the reg of this, that's an ex-Jeremy Clarkson car. And what I didn't realise is that was one of 3 prototype Escort Cosworths. There was 3 made, that's one of them. Never knew that. I didn't realise Clarkson's was a prototype one. And then the yellow one, that's the one of one, only yellow factory built Escort Cosworth. And what is weird is, I understand that obviously the yellow one is going to be expensive because it's one of one, but I also thought it'd be valued at the same as around the Clarkson one, but it's not. The Clarkson one is guide price of 65 to 75, and the guide price of the Escort Cosy is 100 to 140. So as much as I'd probably pick the Clarkson one, because I like the fact it's a prototype, Clarkson owned it, and even me, who's not really a Ford fan, picked out the red straight away, I would probably choose that one over the yellow one, because I just don't think it suits the yellow, in my opinion. I'm very sorry whoever buys this, but it just doesn't suit it. But them two there are two very historic and very, very interesting Cosworths from back in the day, and they've got so much history about them. Here's a question for all the Chevette HSR owners. So we've seen this one, pristine condition, super low mileage, but what we've noticed on the bonnet is, only the picture, you can just see just there, there's 2 indented holes, and there. Now, anyone who knows these cars, is that because of the kind of the imprinted for the bonnet pins for the rallying? Would they have stamped these bonnets out far that way? I don't know if they're even fiberglass or metal, but we just noticed that walking up. Can please someone answer that question? This is a bit of a strange one tucked away, and I can only think you basically, in essence, you're buying the plate and you're getting the car for free, because someone's basically bought a Fiat 500, stuck some stickers on, because obviously it's the Senna weekend, so they've kind of took advantage of it. Hats off to them, because they're going to make some money on it. They've stuck some stickers on, and even stickers badly, because you can see the 500 through the Senna sticker, and even on the front grille you can see all the edging's a bit naff, but it has a very, very cool plate. So technically the guide price on this one is 10 to 12 grand. I don't know what year car it is. It's a 2015. What's a 2015 Fiat 500? 2 or 3 grand, something like that. So technically you're buying the registration plate and getting a free car, because this is nothing special. It even says on there, Ayrton Senna tribute. So if you've got a Senna, a proper McLaren Senna, someone will buy this, take the plate off, sell the card on, take the stickers off, and basically they've got a really cool plate for about, if it goes for that money, I don't know, let's say the car's 3, they've got a plate for 7 grand, which for that plate on a Senna would look cool as Christmas. So we're now off to move the Metro back into space because the wind's died down a little bit. But what we're going to do is, as we were coming into Silverstone, one of the stewards, she was a lovely lady, a huge Senna fan, and when I said to her the Metro was basically driven by Senna, and I showed her the picture in the magazine because we had it on the side of us, she was nearly crying. She was cheering. She had her nails all painted in the Senna colours. Insane Senna fan. So we bumped into her this morning walking around the auction, and I said to her I'd had my picture taken with the helmet. No one really asked. We had the picture taken with the genuine Senna helmet, and she said my husband did, and he wound me up all night saying that he'd had his picture taken with the helmet. So I said, well, when I move the car, I'll take you for a short drive in the car down to where he's going to part up. She nearly had an heart attack. So I'm going to give her a call now, get her to come down, because she's going to have a lunch, and I'm going to take her in the Metro so she can say she's been in one of the Senna cars. Come on then. Do you want a picture with the magazine first?
Huh?
Yeah, I get that. Okay. You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
Whoa. Take a picture of that and I'll get you the passport so you can say yourself. Wow. You in?
Yeah. Oh my God!
And that's all because you stopped skiing and showed me your nails. videos. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
See you later.
Glad you enjoyed it. Again, just another nice thing to do for someone, because as bad as it sounds, I wouldn't say it's wasted on with the Ayrton Senna thing. I didn't really follow Ayrton Senna. I can appreciate he's an amazing driver and I can appreciate who he is, but I've never really been a major Formula 1 fan. Well, that lady there was an insane Formula 1 fan and an insane Senna fanatic. So just to do that, something nice. She's working all weekend, basically making her lifetime. And that's what she just said to me. She gave me a massive hug, a kiss on the cheek. Just doing nice things with these cars that you wouldn't bet that a lot of people wouldn't have the experience of doing. Just being nice, and it's nice to be nice. And as I've said in other videos, there's no greater feeling than just doing a random act of kindness just because you can. So all the cars now are all coming out of all the storage. They're all being put in, and look at the lineup. Insane. Like I say, never would have thought I'd be stood in a row of all the Senna Formula 1 cars. Like I've said 1,000 times in these videos, it's a bit of a special moment, this type of thing. So with this being a festival, we've come over to the other side now where it's like club stands, food, drink, fan zones, but they also have some manufacturers. And they've got a Cybertruck. Never seen one. Looking forward to seeing it up close. Let's have a close inspection, because I'm very intrigued with this thing. Because if anyone's watched Whistling Diesel's videos, this doesn't hold up very well. Bigger than what I thought, I'll tell you that much. I don't know how to take it. It looks strange. I don't know. I'd be interested to see one on the road, I'll tell you that much. But I'll have a wander around and I'll give you my opinion shortly. So we've had a good walk round. The fit and finish, I suppose it's what everyone's been saying online, the fit and finish is horrendous. So this is on display to everyone to see. The step there. Look at the fit, it's yeah. It looks weird, it looks futuristic, but the fit and finish is terrible. Panel gaps is terrible. But I bet, like you say, I bet it's fast. That's all I can say, being electric. But it's bigger than what I thought. Really is a lot bigger than what I thought. But unfortunately, not for me. So I had to go around it again and keep looking at stuff. Look, this is the display model to show the work. Look at the panel drop. There's a drop. It doesn't line up all the way down, even the bottom of the door. Doesn't line up. And this is Fortunes. Really don't get the thing with it. Really don't. But hey ho. So this is an interesting car. This is technically a Toyota Aygo, but I'm being told because of tax purposes or something like that, they had to sell certain many small cars. So Aston Martin rebranded them like this. Just rebranded them, added some vents, did some interior bits, and these have gone up in value. And I think from memory they did one with actually a V8 in. Cool little car, never seen one in real life. Really nice little find this. Spotted 200 yards away. S1 E2. Let's go and have a look. As far as I can tell, it's a real one, boys and girls. I'm going to stand here for about 25 minutes and have a bit of a moment to myself. This looks like it's Audi's car. And I've got to say, it looks super clean. They're normally a lot more rougher and battered, but looking like it's an original one from back in the day. Everything looks right. I've had a quick poke around. I could be wrong, but to me, I feel this is a genuine one, because the thing that's easy to look for these cars that are not a lot of the replicas do is the split in the headlight. So we look here, that there is a panel which folds out on a piano hinge. No one ever does that on the reps. So they've done some light resto work and it just looks cheap now, and it's horrible to say that because this is an absolutely amazing car, but the originality should have stayed original. And in my opinion, if it is one of the original 20, which we know it is, it should be battered. It doesn't need to be pristine. It needs to have its battle scars. So as much as I'm loving it and it's nice to see again, it's just been a bit spoiled for me. So, as well as the 30 years of Senna, it's 40 years of the 6R4. So we've got all the 6R4s here today, as many of them, and we've also got this one. This has got a special little place in my heart because this is the very first one I was got lucky enough to be able to have a drive from Gary. Let me have a go. This is an original Clubman, super low mileage, and I'll be honest with you, a lot nicer to drive than the Senna one. And then you've got all the other ones, including the facelift one, which is here. Don't know much about the history, but I've also just bumped into the guy who actually designed the 6R4. He was involved in it. He's actually sat talking to Gary. But they're doing some demos, and then you've got some other little iconic Metros, because you've got Jimmy McRae ones, which is there. And then as far as I'm hearing, that's the Colin McRae one, which he lost control on. Oh, I got it completely wrong. I've got it the wrong way around, sorry. That's the Colin McRae one. So there's a famous video of Colin McRae racing one of these and missing a junction, as far as I'm told, and that's that car. And then obviously Jim is next to it. For some reason I thought it was that one. I would have thought, because he's got the blue on it. But again, always learning. I don't know everything and I can't know everything, but really nice to see all these 6R4s out and about and all together. So this is a strange little car. This is called I think it's called a Damned 400 or a Damned 100, because it's technically the evolution of the 6R4. So when the 6R4 was stopped made, one of the original mechanics from 6R4, who was Bilton, and Tony Pond, built these, and they built a collection of them, facelift, on the Rover 100s. Not many, very sought after, but yeah, these are very, very rare. And I've just had a bit of an education from Gary. Obviously, Gary's car's here, as I've just said. And then an Audi Quattro S1 comes. What can I say? Still, unfortunately, to the Metro guys, the Audi does it for me. So, we've come inside to the museum because it's absolutely chucking it down. So whilst the weather's bad, we thought we'll get the inside part done. We planned it because yesterday it forecast the rain. So we thought we'll save the museum whilst it's raining and come inside, because racing's not very good because it's really wet. Let's get out, let's have a look, and let's have a look at the museum. So it's nice that they've got some Senna memorabilia. Obviously a suit, a helmet, which claim to fame, we've held that on the start grid of all the Senna cars yesterday. Nice experience. But again, a set of overalls. To put it in perspective, the last helmet that sold at auction was £150,000. And then I've also heard non-race worn race suits, but there is his Senna's spare suit, never worn in race, in fact he never wore them, I think sold at auction for £29,000. So there's a bit of money back to do with Senna. So, and as we come round here, I think if this is the original Dick Johnson car, which my mate's saying it is, this is Mr. Paul Linfoot's. Yeah, it is. On loan as courtesy of Mr. Linfoot. This is Paul's car, the Dick Johnson car. Yeah, one of these historic touring cars from back in the day. So what's funny is we were only discussing this the other day. This is Barry Sheen, who's a famous motorcycle rider. And if you look at his helmet, he has a very tiny hole just there, which is so he could smoke a cigarette whilst racing. He didn't have to take his helmet off. Insane. Can you imagine that nowadays, stood on the grid with an hole with a fag sticking out of your helmet? A bit disappointed with that. Bit of a waste of time, if I'm honest. The only thing that entertained me was sending Paul Linfoot a message saying I'm going to let his tyres down on his car, and him replying back, just make sure you video it. Other than that, if you're an F1 fan, I can see you might spend a little bit more time. But other than that, I won't waste your time or your money to go in there, let me tell you. What is nice is, I've not actually ever seen this one in real life. Having worked on a couple, and obviously you'll have seen the series of helping Jim Pocklington, I've physically never seen this one in real life. This is one of the later ones. As far as I'm aware, this is the one, I think, people will correct me, I think this is the one that when the famous Soper race where he put his finger up at him, I think this is his car, that car. Really nice to have a look at it. I'm going to have a nosy around because you can tell it's the later model because it's still got the sequential shifter on the column, which if you can look through the dashboard, it is like very much like Tony Absalon's, which is obviously the last one that was ever produced. Fingers crossed I'm going to grab one of the guys and I can have a look at the engine spec on this, and hopefully it's the Swindon reversed head one, and I can have a look at the different iterations between, obviously, like we have done in the past, Jim's being the first, Tony's being the last, and this one's somewhere in between. You don't see a Saxo VTS very often. What's very interesting for me is, and I always question, so my journey was never the Vauxhalls to start. The reason why I ended up with the Black Corsa in the beginning, which started the journey with the Vauxhalls, was all about the free insurance. So it was, the Corsa came with 2 years, the Saxo came with 1, and the Fiesta came with 1. I wonder what journey I would have been on now if I would have got a Saxo or a Fiesta. Always the question I've always wondered. So I've just stumbled across this, and do you know what? I'm quite impressed. It's a really, really nice build. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm actually going to reach out to the guy and see if I can do a full video on the thing. But it looks like, you know, an early 8 valve on throttle bodies. Really, really nice little build. Quaife shifter, hydraulic handbrake, digi dash. Just a really nice, classic, clean, kind of like race build for the road in a saloon, which is a bit rare. And if he does watch this, because I'm sure people will tag this guy into the video, I hope you get home, pal, because your bolt on your engine mount is coming loose. What a weekend it's been. We've done Silverstone Festival completed. We've been able to get on the starting line with the other 26 Senna cars, have them all lined up, get the photographs. Tick. We was able to talk to the family of Senna, the niece, the nephew. We was able to meet them, shake the hand, get some photographs. We was also be able to actually hold one of the original race worn Ayrton Senna helmets whilst on the track. Another one of these lifetime experiences ticked off. Then we was able to put the car on display with the rest of the cars. We was able to poke around some of the F1 cars, met some fantastic people, had a really good time. So we've also been able, as you've seen, stay in this fantastic motorhome. But the highlight for me for the weekend has been, I've been able to spend some time with my best mate. My best mate is a major Senna fan. He actually has Senna tattooed on his leg. So just to be able to get him to come, again, you should have seen his face when I basically passed in the Senna helmet for have his photo taken. It was a picture. I've had nothing but smiles all weekend, and anyone who knows there's nothing better than spending time with your best mate. So also I'd like to thank, as always, the brother from another mother, Pete, for letting me borrow his car, for arranging everything, for sorting it all out. Mega time. So we'll sign this one off. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see everyone on the next video.